bomb that I just dropped. I haven't watched it, but I know everybody's talking about it. But I've heard about the Minnesota Somali scam that they were scam Medicaid, but I guess everybody's calling it like a nuclear bomb thing. We're gonna be checking it out and see it's gonna be. Let's see. All right. Let's watch the new Shirley. All right. Anyway, let's watch it now.
Where the money's going? What do you guys think about the fraud?
Just like that first clip where they start closing the doors, I know it's gonna be fire. Just by that first clip.
That's taking place here in Minnesota.
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Rolls accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26.
You know, he's yelling at you. Man. See, this is what I don't agree, because this messes it up for all the immigrants, right? Because not everybody's gonna associate immigrants with scammers. I don't agree with this at all. With the Somalians scamming Medicaid, billions of dollars. I heard it was $2 billion for the GDP of Somalia. These guys are supposedly scamming the system and sending it over there to provide funding for Al-Shabaab. It's a terrorist group. That's messed up. That's messed up.
What was that? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there
There are no kids, yo. What do you mean you're taking care of 60 kids?
children? There's no children inside the building. Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somalia.
$18 billion? $18 billion? That's crazy. Hold on. Let me sure I put this here. $18 billion of fraud? That's wild.
Somali ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of.
Okay, Somalia's GDP is $12 billion. The scammers are sending $9 billion to Somalia. What? Whoa, that's crazy.
Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government.
Wait, why is it Minnesota the only state that this is happening? If it was like if it's a federal thing, wouldn't they have the same checks and procedures in all the states?
As they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia.
See, that's what I don't agree with. If you're sending money to terrorist groups, you gotta get out of here, brother. And you're ruining everything that like the immigrant community. You're like putting dirt on their names, you know. You are.
Like the Al-Shabaab, and others enrich themselves all at the U.S. taxpayers' expense. And in this video, we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish.
Yo. This is gonna be a good video.
The fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to
if there's $9 billion of fraud, you know some government officials are packing that in. If not, they're getting that money through their donations for their government race.
make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen.
This is gonna be a good video.
His name is David. Let's
That's
get into this.
crazy. $9 billion in fraud, and the Somali GDP.
Fraud here inside of Minnesota.
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion.
$8 billion in fraud. Somalia's GDP is 12 billion. Bro, that's like 75% of the GDP is based on Minnesota's funding it.
I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud. And I would see these child care centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day. And all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking.
No, it's
And then
not
I
a
go by
joke.
another daycare
Peaceful
and I see the
protest.
same thing. I said, well,
This is not a joke. There's actually $9 billion worth of fraud going on in Minnesota. This is not a joke. No. I wish it was a joke, but it's not a joke, brother. Like, it's
where
crazy.
do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child.
So they're charging the government per. Are they charging the government per kid? Like subsidy? You know how when you got like working moms, the government helps you pay for the childcare. So 80 kids. And I know childcare is about like $500 per kid for a month, right? So let's say the government's paying half. Let's say it's $250 a week, $1,000 a month for one kid. That's like $80,000, no?
Child there. Then I started to see all these
That's
transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali owned. Nobody
What?
from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
So right here we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about?
Okay, how do you not never check that the service you're paying as a government official is getting service? How are you telling me you're sending kids, a place is charging you rights for kids and all that stuff, and there's no rights provided?
The fraud.
A lot of it is through my own research, and then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years, and so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state Capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address, and together they're licensed.
2 childcares in the same address, and you never caught that? What? Lock them up. Locked up the government officials too, because they're the ones doing that shit.
Supposedly for 120
That's
children.
wild.
I have never seen a single child there ever, and I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violations, and
Like, wouldn't the government send like people to check if it's safe for the kids to be there? You know, like how over here where I'm at, if you have a home daycare, the government comes and checks that everything's safe and all that. And plus, if the government's paying you for childcare, wouldn't they want a list of all the kids that are attending their parents and all that?
even though they have these violations, they're still in operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing.
Okay, nah, they're getting money out of that. They're getting a cut out of that. They're getting a cut out of that.
You have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building
They're not just double dipping, they're like triple eating.
that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And
And how did they not catch that? How did they not catch that? How?
the government knows about this.
The government knows they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks. What has happened is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand.
Crazy.
This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud. And they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not.
That's true. I've been to Minnesota many times. I actually go like twice a week. They're really nice people. I've never had any issues with them anywhere I go.
Not worry about it. Tim Walz saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This is the Minnesota law, which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walz is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole,
Man, I wonder how much money Walt's got out of that.
and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history. Anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to these daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon. Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Child Care, which actually has another child care registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
So we should see lots of children.
That's crazy. How do you not see that when you're like a state official? You don't see it. Like, how many kids can you actually fit in one building? In two child cares, yeah.
If there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans have moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020.
Oh man, you know they got hella money. You see how many vans there were? Sorry, I'm gonna reach.
Care centers, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those.
Streamline, USDOT.
Vans have moved.
That's one.
Moved in
Grand Caravan.
6 months.
Dodge Caravan. Yeah, they look brand new. Those vans look brand new. Look at that. They have snow on top of them. And you know, when I go to Minnesota, like I said, and especially right in the wintertime, there's a lot of people are like taking the snow off their cars all the time.
In 2020, one of them received 1.3 million and
money stolen from Minnesota. Mako Childcare took 1.3 million in 2020. That was like the best year. 2021, $987,000. 2022, $714,000. So since 2020, wow, this is like
2021 they got 987,000. In 2022 they got 714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, 1.604 million in fiscal year 2025. fiscal year 2024, they got about 800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059. This place right here.
$5 million of fraud. $5 million of fraud, guys. That's wild, brother. Like, $5 million. 5 years. The average is $10 million a year. Just chilling. They're just chilling. They're just chilling. Like, that's crazy.
Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually 2 daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility as you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are
That's
indeed
wild, bro.
no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
Yeah, most child cares where I'm at, like, they have see-through glass so you can see the kids chilling, playing, and all that. How do they get away with that?
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell?
And imagine, all their overhead is just basically paying the building. How much could that be? 5, 10,000. Let's say 7,000 a month. 7 times 12, 84,000. 84. Let's say I have $84,000 on rent, and they're pocketing over $1 million a year, no overhead. That's crazy.
Try to get in, rang the doorbell, nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a playground or something outside, or...
There's no play area for the kids. So
Yeah, they usually have like a little park in the back. That's wild.
where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here.
Bro, they got so many vans. Like, what about food? You gotta feed the kids. You know, most daycares give you like little apple bits.
In
Where are those?
9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building. Right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somali.
Oh,
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
they're ski masks
Hello,
too.
is
They
this
got a
your
shiesty on.
No, can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center?
Doesn't
I'm
know
not
if
sure.
there's
I
any
don't know.
child here.
What?
All right, let's go to the next location.
And the fraud only gets more from here. Make sure you stay till the very end of this video to see exactly how much fraud we found.
Oh, we're staying. We're staying to the end of the video. You already got me hooked like in the first 2 seconds. You already got me hooked. Defendant, 2 houses.
By the time we are done. And before we go to the next location, I want to show you something super interesting about the flags of Minnesota.
And here in Minnesota, if you take a look at the Minnesota state flag, they recently changed it, and it very much so resembles the flag of Somalia. And really quick, I want to tell you guys about the sponsor of this video.
Well, wasn't this with Minnesota flag had a bear or something like that? Would you, Nick?
Back into the video. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one, in fiscal year,
Let's see. This one is 727,000 2023. 1,059,000 in 2024. 1,042,000 2025. Bro, these guys are cashing out. These guys are cashing out like crazy.
2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally 1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see
Or
if there's
$8
any
million.
children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go.
That's
All right,
wild.
we've arrived to ABC Learning
can't have that.
Center.
Bro,
All the windows are blacked out.
There's not
Let's see
even
if
daycares
anybody
outside, bro. Like,
is
not
here.
daycare, like the park.
This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that last daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars. I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door. Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Why?
Can I speak to a manager?
Right later.
Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare. And after a few questions, the lady went silent. Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here.
Bro, how you got 2 daycares like that back to back? Doesn't no, and get them full to capacity? That's crazy.
And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Childcare.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which says it's licensed for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids, and all the facilities are the same way, all of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Once again, I try to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door. I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cause
Why?
I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
You said why?
No, so I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed.
What do they have shiesties on?
No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah?
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids?
That looks fresh. That guy looking fresh. Look at that. Clean clothes. You know this guy ain't taking care of no kids. This guy ain't taking care of no kids.
They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When? No, when?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website.
Wow. They caught us, guys. He's like, they caught us, guys.
Work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
happened?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You worked here. Okay, well then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
No! You're a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah,
So
I'd like
how
to
could
know
you
if this
do?
is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain everything?
You're scared of
What are you scared of? What are you scared of? You got caught? What are you scared
Me?
of getting caught?
Yeah,
Why?
because of your curry.
because of my color. You said you're
I
scared of me because of my
have to
color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
no,
you-
no.
you said you're
I'm
scared
not-
of
I'm
me
not
'cause of
saying
my
anything.
color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist.
That's wild,
So
brother.
right now,
This is my
they're all
tax
getting
money.
mad because he's showing the
I
paperwork
don't
of
know
this
that.
business being registered as a business. 74 children,
I've
no
lived my whole
children.
life
We
here.
saw one child when the lady opened up the door.
So
But now
where did
they're
this
all
money
getting mad.
go? What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent
ask
on?
the owner.
There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking to
As-
the owner?
As the kids, there's no kids there. What you mean?
You're
That's
telling me
not
to
my
talk
proof.
to the owner.
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No,
Does anybody?
no.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing?
Wild.
It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location.
Look how many people are here. Shiesty up. Shiesty. Wow, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Well, their free thing ended already. Bro, it takes, you know how much I gotta work just to make 6 figures? and these guys are just cashing in with fake kids. And you know how much taxes they pay?
Have a good day. As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city. And now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center, absolutely no signage, and there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside. $5 million within the past
5.9 million in 2 years.
$5 million.
5.9 million
That's
they
wild,
received
bro.
In 2 years, that facility right
Total fraud. That little place made $15 million, bro. $15 million. That's wild. Bro, just for me to make over 6 figures, I gotta work every day. Every day. And these guys are cashing out?
there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now. From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells quality leering.
Leering. Oh my gosh. That's wild. Who will sign up the kids to that? It said, bro, it says quality leering. Bro, that's wild, my guy. Quality leering. Make it make sense.
Center on the outside of their sign.
Leering.
That's how blatant this fraud is here at this daycare.
And when they filed it, the government officials didn't see that. Like, what type of parents gonna send their kids to that? They can't even spell it right.
So this is Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up.
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up.
How do you have
Who's
ice
that?
here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up.
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up.
Where's she come from? Where's she come from?
We have ice.
And
It's
what do
not
you think
ice,
about
brother.
this place being licensed for 99 children?
Don't open.
99 children, 1.9 million. Let me check out my calculator. Let's see how much the government's paying for that. My trusty handy calculator. All right, let me see. Let me see. So it's 1.9 million dollars. Divide that by 99 kids. That's about $19,191 per kid that our taxes are paying. $19,000 per kid, imaginary kid, because there's no kids there. 5 of those kids will pay my. Oh my gosh.
Open up.
And getting $4 million over
Don't
the
open up. It's ice.
$4 million in the last 2 years.
Go away.
What do you think
Why is that lady not like listening? They're not there. They're not eyes. She's trying to explain the fraud. Why is she not listening?
about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away.
Are you in favor of that?
Go away.
You know where
You're
they-
not welcome here.
Are you-
Shame on you.
Are you in favor of $1.9
Shame
million
on you. It's
going
ice.
illegally,
Don't open up.
fraudulently to this business that has Quality Learning Center?
She doesn't care what they say. She's too woke. I don't know. Is that the right word? Like, he's not eyes. He's just trying to explain to you that there's fraud going on.
But can't even spell learning right on the door.
Don't open up.
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are. You don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up.
That's
It's
crazy. That's not eyes.
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this building, but there's no
There's
one
not even
here.
a playground.
This is a
State of
child
Minnesota
daycare center.
says 99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children?
Check the garbage.
This is state of
See what's going on in the
Minnesota.
garbage can right here.
Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and order back in the streets of the United States.
She's like, eyes, eyes. He's not eyes. But this is wild, though. So now 1.9 million they made out of the 99 kids. That's $19,000 per kid, imaginary kid there. And the thing is wild. Like, wouldn't government officials go check on the building to see if it's safe for the kids? You know. What about food? I know most daycares give food for the kids. Are they contracting food services?
Get rid of all the fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child. You've never seen daycare.
I haven't seen anybody in here.
We're gonna educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None at all. None.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your
Well,
tax.
that was like a garage. Like you see all the businesses in the front. That was like where you house a car or something.
Money
Right?
for 99 children. We just want to know where are the kids?
Right.
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that here.
seen a child here.
No, not at all.
And so you've
8
never
years.
seen a child here for 8 years.
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel knowing that this place is receiving
Disgusting.
$1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant too. That's if they get caught for that's a federal offense. I know. I studied law.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? Well, heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here.
And that's crazy. He was gonna run for
there.
vice
It's a
president.
parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. I mean, who
That's
runs
crazy.
it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my god. Well, where?
That's crazy. That is
it's
wild.
just- I've never seen nobody here at all
So how long have you been living here?
since 2017. 2018.
You've never seen a single child walk in that building.
No, not at all.
So this big daycare center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million just this year alone. And this guy's been living here for 8 years.
And the crazy thing, most of this money is going back to Somalia. Well, Al-Shabaab, the terrorist group. That's a wild.
and has never seen a single child walk through those doors. There's no windows either.
No.
And the only window they do have, the door, is blacked out.
Yep, I see that. I've never seen anybody go in there.
Most places with kids, you have to have two entrances for the fires. Like, wouldn't the government officials see that? Wouldn't the government officials see that if they went to go investigate? You know, hey, how's this daycare working, or this, and that? But this is wild, bro. Like, how do you not know? And I'm pretty sure the Somalis are contributing to the campaigns there. That's why they don't really care about what the fraud's going.
Within just a few hours, we nearly approached $20 million in fraud, and we headed over to George Floyd's neighborhood to expose more of the fraud.
Look at the
taking
Somalia
place.
flag.
This place is called Future Leaders Early Learning Center, and it's licensed for 90 children. And in fiscal year 2025, they received $3.6 million.
$3 million for 90 kids. Let me take out my handy calculator. 3 million. 3.6 million. Let's see. Divide that by 90 kids. That's $40,000 per imaginary kid that they're supposedly housing. $40,000, yo. I'm shocked. $40,000. Funding $3.67 million for 90 kids. That's $40,000 per kid. Okay, let's do that per 12 months. That's about 300 300,000 per month. 300,000 per month. $300,000. Oh, my math's wrong then. 300,000 per month. Okay, well, okay, let me divide that. Sorry. Divide that by 90 kids. Never mind. It's 3,333,000 per kid. My bad, my math was wrong. I did not go to the a luring center, but
In fiscal year 2024,
that's wild, bro.
they received $3 million. So in 2 years, they got $6.67 million, claiming they have 90 children every day of the week, 5 days a week.
I mean,
So let's
these
find
people
out.
are making just about more money than NBA athletes.
And we don't even know if they're paying taxes, but we don't know where this money
Oh yeah,
is
is
going.
that is
it
that
going
tax
to
free?
terrorism? Is it, where is it going? But it's theft, it's fraud, and the reason I'm involved is I want it to stop. I care about Minnesota. I'm doing this for the people of Minnesota. I don't make a dime off all this time I've spent on this. I put my life at risk several times, but I'm determined to see this through and to correct.
You can see that guy's passionate. He really cares. But that's crazy fraud. And like I said, all this stuff is just hurting the immigrant community, because now this came out. They kind of look at immigrants, especially Somalians, as scammers.
What is wrong, what is evil.
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello, how are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork, or can I check out the daycare? No? Why can't I check out the daycare?
Military's not here.
Okay, but if I can I get paperwork or anything to submit my son little Joey to come in here?
Just
to
imagine
daycare?
that here.
We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
Business card?
No, I would like your business card, actually.
You talk to your manager.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at? Are there children here today?
No.
No children.
Yes.
Why are there no children?
We have two of Mexican.
Would my son little Joey have friends to play with here?
No.
No.
What?
No friends for little Joey.
Yes.
Little Joey.
Dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
So, little Joey would not be accepted to that.
90 kids in that little place. Like I said, there's no little parks outside for them to play with. You know? It doesn't look like that's not a place I would put my kids there, to be honest. And even if it was legit. Plus, like I said, like, why are they feeding the 90 kids? You know? But they're not.
That daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's still looking for daycare.
And because little Joey couldn't get into a daycare, we went to an autism center, as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because of the government funds that they are receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center.
We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey. But
Bro, you know you're not giving your kid for this guy to take care of your kid. Bro, this guy looks like a thug. I ain't gonna lie. He looks like he be spanking my kids or something, you know? There's no way anybody's gonna be leaving their kid with this. He doesn't even have like a professional clothes. He doesn't even have anything, bro. He looks like he just out there, you know? That's wild.
we thought maybe we could check him into the autism center. Because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, so you don't really know. What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here, because there's
So why are you asking us about
the fraud.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to a legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot. Yeah. But that's our number on the other phone. But this is we can't let you guys in. So.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
This is a place they gotta raid. They definitely gotta raid this place. Instead of picking up freaking people from the street, go to like where the fraud's actually at, you know?
So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve.
After being able to provide no evidence of them actually being an autism center in a place where a child could go, they shut the door and we headed to the next fraudulent daycare.
That's crazy. They even got a little minibus. Like they're picking up the kids to school and everything, you know?
Center that was just around the corner.
We're on to the next location. We're still trying to find little Joey a place to go to get some daycare.
So where we're going now is a place called Super Kids Daycare Center. Interestingly, this daycare center was shut down when it was called Creative Minds Daycare, and it had received $2.45 million this fiscal year 2025. They had to shut down because there were so many violations, and they went and they just reopened under a new license, and they renamed the center Super Kids Daycare Center LLC.
So they got shut down, then started another one.
Literally the
I
next
wonder what the violations were for.
day.
Creative Minds Daycare, $2.45 million got sent to this daycare center. We have
It looks exactly the same as that last one. They got that little minibus.
parking lot. We do have a bus here. This is different. We'll see if we see anybody.
I knocked on the door, absolutely nobody was inside, and once again, no children could be heard anywhere.
So David, once again, another child daycare center. We have a bus out here. No one's inside. Licensed for over 50 kids. No children anywhere, but yet millions of dollars every single year.
So the sign says Creative Minds Daycare. They got in so much trouble. They had so many violations that they had to shut down. And
But wouldn't the people finding those violations like see if there's any kids there? You know, wouldn't they want?
they reopened the next day under Super Kids Daycare Center. You see 3801 Portland, 3801 Portland, which is where we are.
So that's fraud right there alone.
Millions and millions of dollars, and again, the kids are missing. Where are the kids?
You would think if they had the same
next
address,
day,
that whoever's
too.
inside or working at the Capitol here inside of Minnesota would just say, oh, maybe that's a red flag.
They just write the check. Human Services, they got to clean out the whole bunch. They're the ones who enabled this fraud. How can you not look and say, wait a minute, these two are registered at the same address?
On top of all of the child care centers, that's just only a small piece of the fraud. What other fraud are they committing here in Minnesota?
So another major piece of the fraud is the home health care industry. Where we're going now is a building that has 14 Somali-owned home health care companies in the same building.
14 of the same healthcare companies in one building.
And imagine if there must be one of those guys that they're double dipping from everything: the child care, the health services, the senior care. Because in the beginning of the video it says senior care too.
14 home health care companies with different names in the same building.
How bad has Tim Walz managed the budget here inside of Minnesota?
So the last biennium, we had an $18 billion surplus. This biennium, we have a $6 billion deficit. That's a $24 billion swing in one biennium. How in the world can you burn through $24 billion in 2 years? This is how, right here. This is a huge part of it.
And so would you say a lot of that is fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Absolutely. I would say better than 90% of it is absolute outright fraud.
And a large percentage of this fraud is from these healthcare companies that are charging the state millions of dollars while they actually aren't providing anything. In fact, the FBI just did a raid a few days ago on a building similar to the one we are about to enter. Inside of this building, there were 14 of nearly the exact same businesses offering the exact same services.
Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare.
No, it's okay.
Yes,
No,
we'd
it's
like
okay.
to speak about getting healthcare here.
No.
Why can't I get healthcare here?
No, wait.
Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest
Bro, that was
I've
like a
ever been to
bodega.
get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk to about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think has been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers, and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that
The police? What?
someone matching your description were in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay.
So he's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, he wasn't assuming. He was asking if he has to provide him a service. What you mean?
No, we're just
You guys
checking.
know, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason that you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one
Can't be harassing you, checking out rates. They're customers, bro.
And she actually did give us rates for
Customers.
childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
Yeah.
So
As we got escorted out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left, and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers operating from inside of the building.
Right here you have multicultural home care. And right here it says it's open, but can't even get in. Another
That's crazy.
Reliance Recovery Center. Mercy and Grace Care.
And what are those
Right here
places
you have
supposed to
Denton,
do? Like
Air
offer insurance services or like handicap services? Like what type of care
Train
that's supposed to
Youth
be doing?
Development Association of Minnesota.
Then.
Another child care center. Welcome to Bright Beginning Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry. No comments. Can I please?
Right here you have Serenity Quality Care. All of these businesses are literally the same type of business providing the same service in the same building. Another Convenience Home Health Care, Aid, Inc., and Child Friendly Space. All these companies get money from the government. Why would you have the same company essentially inside of the same building, door to door? Right here, Queenly Home Health
It is door to door. You know, I wonder how much money they're making.
It just does not make sense. If you're trying to operate a business, you'd want to have less competition. But here, they have all of their competition right next door. We're wondering, because we hear there's lots of fraud taking place here in Minnesota, and we're wondering, why is there so many of the same companies inside of this same building?
No, I don't know that.
What do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't have any idea about that fraud, okay? That's it.
What do you think about the news articles and what's being spread on the news about the fraud?
Right now, you are doing something wrong.
I'm just asking you.
No, you
about
don't
the
have
fraud.
to ask me,
this?
okay? Don't ask me that question again.
Okay.
Okay?
Who can I speak to?
Yeah?
Who can I speak to?
Wow. You got offended because
Okay.
you're
So
committing
you're
fraud?
confronted about the fraud.
Get out of here. Lock them
When
up.
these people have these home healthcare companies, you're seeing them everywhere inside this building. What kind of fraud are they committing?
So there's false documentation being submitted to the state of Minnesota for services never provided. They're having forms signed in advance for services that were then never rendered. As far as a year or 2 years in advance, they'll have someone sign these forms at one sitting, and then they just file those with the state of Minnesota, and nobody from the state of Minnesota bothers to check that those services were ever provided.
So they're essentially just using people, saying that they had these services provided months or even years ago, then filing the paperwork and then receiving money from the government.
Right, and the Somali community is a very closed community, so everybody's in on it, and they don't want to talk, as you can see.
And for this building, I'm going to give an estimate of around $30 million for how much fraud is taking place. That is a very low estimate. However, still a lot of money in fraud.
And do you think there is fraud taking place here?
I don't know. Yeah.
Do you have any idea what any of these businesses are doing?
That guy looks geeked up. That guy looks geeked up. He's definitely geeked up. You know?
Never ask.
And now, with upwards of $100 million in fraud, we headed to one more daycare, and this one gets a little spicy as we get chased out at the very end. And after this, we'll be heading to the state capitol to confront the incompetent government leaders who have enabled this fraud to happen.
And I knew
I
this
want to
video
see
would be
that.
super
I want to see
dangerous to
that.
film because of obviously how hostile it is, and as we are exposing legit fraud happening. I did get security for this video, and I was able to do it through the Black Line Guardian. And if you guys want to help fund my security in the future, you can go down to the link down below. They're not paying me to say any of this. They came and decided to help me out for this video. So you can go to Black Line Guardian, the link's down below, and click Guardian for Nick, and those funds will directly go to my security and future videos as we are exposing lots of things happening, especially with this fraud. Like I said, they're not sponsoring this video. I'm just giving them a shout out because of how they helped me. So go down to the link down below, click Guardian for Nick, and let's keep going. And now we're going to the next location. Now, this child daycare center, this one's different than all the other ones we've been to. Tell us about this one.
This one is different because, according to the state of Minnesota, this 312 West Lake Street houses not one, not two, but 3 child care centers and is licensed to hold 102 children, and in fiscal year 2025 was paid $2.66 million by the state of Minnesota.
And this is the building right here. So this building alone made $2.6 million.
Bro, who's gonna be dropping off the kid with little graffiti on the side? I wouldn't. 15 Express.
Now we're inside of the building where there's apparently 4 child care centers.
We met this lady and we followed her to the back of the building where the daycare was supposedly at.
So right here we have 2 child daycare centers. We have the Minnesota Child Care Center, and then we also have Nuna. Between the two, $2.66 million. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Why are you recording?
Yes. We would like to know.
Well, it says we're trying to figure out 102 children. Is that for this facility?
What is the name? Why is it?
It's from the state of Minnesota website. It says you have 102 children here in your
Lock
child
them up.
care.
Which child care name is a lot of
Minnesota Child Care right here. It's from the state of Minnesota's website. We're just wondering where the children are.
Where the children are?
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And where are you? Where is? Which
Bro, there's nobody dropping off the
Oh.
kid in a bodega place. Like, how's that even sanitary, bro?
We are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look at this daycare center right here. No children inside of this daycare center. But between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We were just curious, where are the children at? Do you know where the children are at? Where are the children at in these daycare centers?
I don't care.
How can these child care centers have no
I don't
children?
care.
No.
There's $2.6 million inside these businesses that were given by the government, but there's no children to be seen anywhere. People deserve to know where their taxes are going. If these companies and these daycare centers are making upwards of $2.6 million and there's no children to be seen anywhere.
Sorry, no entry if no face mask. Important notice.
Something fraudulent is happening, and that does not make you racist, Islamophobic.
Them up.
This is
Lock
just the
them
truth
up.
of what's happening here in Minnesota. If there's a bunch of white people doing the same thing, we'd be talking about the same issue. This is just fraud at unprecedented levels here inside of Minnesota. It's actually very concerning. Where are the children at inside of these
Not even one
buildings?
kid. I'm
Nowhere
showing the
to be
whole
seen.
video.
Millions of dollars are being sent into these daycare centers all across Minnesota, and there's not a child to be seen anywhere. Here's another daycare center inside this same building.
We don't want you to be videotaping anything.
Where is all the money going for if there's no children at these daycare centers?
Sir,
Yes.
I told you, please leave.
Yes, we have a question though. Where is the children at these daycare centers if there's millions of dollars?
Ask the local government, yeah.
As the local government, what do you mean?
Here. So we're wondering where the money.
As the local government, bro, you provide
We have the paper right here. Come here.
Who are you, first of all?
My name's Nick Shirley.
You don't have any permission to record me. Period.
Can we talk outside?
You're in a public space.
She doesn't either have. She doesn't have permission to record me.
No, you cannot stop people on the street and question them.
We can ask.
You don't have any permission.
Where are the?
Bro, she's recording the guy. What you mean?
You don't have any permission. We have nothing to do with this. You understand?
Then are there?
So leave. Please leave.
Are there children here?
Please leave.
Now he's recording the other guy. What you mean?
$2.6 million for a daycare center.
What you mean?
Whoever you think is doing that, you don't know what you're talking about.
I like their logic. You can't record me, but I can record you.
So leave.
There's no expected privacy in the public setting.
We're wondering what's happening.
We are not a child care. We are nothing to do with it. We're common people walking. And
Yes.
you are.
We're not accusing you. We're asking where the children are at.
Don't ask me anything.
We're not accusing you. We're asking the daycare centers.
I am not gonna answer. You have.
Where are the children at?
Those people are so annoying. They gotta lie.
We just want to know where are the children.
Who you work for?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Who you work for?
I work for myself, Nick Shirley.
Okay, what are you recording?
We're wondering where are the children? $2.66 million for
You're not talking to
the Minnesota
right
Child Care Center.
You're not talking to the right person.
Are there children that come here?
Gotta lock them up. What you gotta do?
Answer the question. Are there children?
Finessers.
There's no children inside this building.
How can they? Oh, he's asking like, where are the kids? If it was on Friday, all right, here the kids. This is where the kids play. You know, the meals or whatever. This guy getting super aggressive because he knows that's fraud.
That's just a simple question. Where are the children at? David, they won't even answer. We asked him, plain and simple, where are the children? Do children come here?
This is why I've had my life. I've been attacked twice. Once with a knife, and the other time I was jumped last Saturday by 3 Somali men simply for asking questions about what was going on. And they're very, very violent people. They do not like this fraud to be exposed.
After giving this man plenty of opportunities to answer the simple question, where are the children, he called the cops on us and we headed to the state capitol where they're having a meeting about the fraud to confront the state representatives and people in the government who have enabled and let this fraud happen. Inside of this committee, a Republican representative showed charts showing exactly how this fraud has been committed and who is profiting and connecting all the dots. And while the Democrat representative
just don't understand how hard is it not to like shut it down.
Building trust and how this is a nonpartisan issue, so I went and confronted her after that.
Yes, but I'm.
He has some very valid questions to ask about what's going on here in Minnesota. And do you think this fraud
I don't know who
crosses?
you are.
My name's Nick Shirley. Do you think this fraud is Republican or Democrat, or just facts that fraud is happening?
I think the fact that
Because
you're talking about it as a partisan issue.
Well, because that's what I heard you talking about. That
I know what I said is that
because
what we're talking
we want
about
to build trust, but fraud is fraud. So why should we be enabling fraud to happen here?
No, I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
Okay, sir.
No. This
Sir,
is not.
sir.
When are you going to hold Governor Walz? No. She is a representative for the state of Minnesota. Yes or no?
Excuse me.
Yes. Are you?
If you're gonna talk to me like
Are you
that,
going to say to?
What do you mean? Talk to you like that? Oh my god, I hate these woke people, bro. They get their feelings hurt. Just yes, getting you a question. Stop being so.
I'm a disability advocate.
I heard you, and
get
you got a chance
overstimulated.
to testify.
Thank you for testifying today.
No.
Ma'am, the facts are the facts that fraud is happening here, and it's not a nonpartisan issue. How come you think fraud has been able to happen so much underneath?
I think if you've
government
been
here?
listening to our hearings, we've had now 10 hearings on this. And so there's really good data from the people who both work within the administration as well as who, both Democrat and Republicans. I think
Yes.
what you heard today is that the Republicans who control this committee are not actually interested in solving fraud. What they're interested in is telling a story.
This fraud has happened underneath Democrat leader Tim Walz.
There has been Medicaid fraud across the country under Democrats and Republicans. There's fraud within the Trump administration. We have is fraud. Private providers have made government a mark. And so every person running government, Democrats are.
Bro, because of this, watch Minnesota. Minnesota's come Republican now.
Republicans are dealing with the issue of how to.
This is what I mean. If this was like a Democrat problem, they gotta go hard on this. Otherwise, they're gonna lose all their votes, and the Somalis are not gonna help them. This is when you You catch a fraud, you shut it down, see you're tough on crime, and you keep getting the votes. But they don't want to do that. It's probably because those Somalis are contributing to their campaigns.
Keep fraudsters out of our public payment. We're also dealing with veterans. We're dealing with consumers. I hope you're looking at that. If you look at United Health, currently is being charged with defrauding Medicare. You know who runs Medicare? President Trump. Medicaid fraud is a 50-state issue. And so, again, it is...
Okay, but you don't represent 50 states. You represent Minnesota. So deal with the Minnesota issue. Stop going and telling people like everybody else does it. Well, who cares? Fix where you're at. That's why people voted for you.
Not a partisan issue. There are Democrats and Republicans who are sitting in that committee talking about it. But what you did here was the Republican chair say she's not turning information over to the one person in government who can stop payment. And I hope you print that.
Thank you for coming today.
Okay.
Crazy.
Well, you saw what happened there?
The state of Minnesota that we live in, and these politicians are just walking off, thinking it's okay Tuesday, and they want to go visit the Trump. They want to blame the Trump administration. We have Democrats blaming ICE. I'm tired. My people are suffering. I'm scared for my little brother.
Well, you're scared for your brother.
My people are suffering, and these people just walk off. We have a governor who fucking doesn't care. How many more people are gonna freaking die? How many more people are gonna go home?
I think he means based on the fraud, there's no funds for the people that actually need the money.
List. And how many more people are gonna be trafficked in our freaking system?
Wow, that's crazy though. Man, lock them up. That's what I say. Lock all these guys up. $111 million worth of fraud in just that 45-minute video. That's wild. That is wild. And I wanna... When is any more? DC. Okay, that's the video I'm reacting to. Oh wow, whoever's reacting to this stuff.
Mr. President, we have discovered, the federal prosecutors have discovered that for the last 5 years, there has been massive welfare fraud in the great state of Minnesota. Massive. Over $1 billion of American taxpayer money has been stolen. Just stolen. They can call it fraud, but a better term would be stealing. And this fraud has been centered in the Somali community in Minnesota. Mr.
That's
President,
crazy.
we have discovered.
And I wonder how deep this goes. Sons of India. I don't get everything like once stuff is copyrighted.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories.
Oh, I don't even put me away on Omar. Oh, that lady's so annoying.
Every day. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Y'all know that we don't take any days off here, so we're going to bring you another story. Today, it looks like there was some all HE double hockey stick breaking loose during the holidays in Minnesota. ICE, they don't apparently stop. They don't rest. They were out looking for people, y'all, looking for people in the country without permission in Minnesota in those frigid temperatures out there. And yeah, things went left quick, as you can see on your screen. Guess that's just the state of the United States now, y'all. And also, your girl, Ilhan Omar, She is facing increasing scrutiny, as is Tim Walz and many of the politicians in Minnesota, y'all. It looks like the Minnesotans have had enough. They want to know where their money's going. They want to know if it's being stolen. They want to know why the politicians allowed the fraud to continue even after red flags were raised. And a lot of people are saying that maybe it has to do with the fact that they didn't want to offend certain communities. So we're going to take a look at that today as well. And then we have politicians coming out as well, year coming up.
For the fraud that they're starting to really, we know the fraud, and there's a trail for the fraud that they're starting to really uncover that grows and grows and grows. But we don't know how much of that may have gone back home to Somalia, to terrorist organizations, and that's going to be a piece of this.
Ilhan Omar, who's right in the middle of all this. Either she's the most naive congresswoman in the history of...
I feel like she's gonna get indicted. I ain't gonna lie. And rightfully so, man. She all the scamming and all that. Lock them up.
Congresswoman, where she knows exactly what was going on the whole time. She said, well, I reported this to the Farm Bureau, or after a while. You had no interest in pushing this forward. And she has a lot of explaining to do. Instead, she says, well, I'm being targeted. No. The area which we represent is where that was ripe with fraud, number one. And number two is they would threaten not only racism if you look to find out where the money was going. They would say, hey, look, you want to be a congressman? You want to be attorney general? You're not going to get any votes if you continue to probe in this area, because there's 80,000 there, and that will deliver a city and a constituency. And so people just backed off.
James Comer said that he does believe that Tim Walz knew about this, but was too afraid to say anything out of fear of offending the Somali community. What about offending taxpayers?
Because some of the money, and we don't have an exact breakdown, but I would imagine much of the money that the fraudsters stole was federal funding. Now the Congress people are starting to look at this and saying, you know what, we need to have some hearings on this. They're actually even introducing legislation as a result of this. There's the Walz Act that's introduced to try to hold state actors accountable when they allow people to steal this money. But as you can see here, Congress is looking at calling Walz in and other Minnesota officials to make them explain to the American people why they're allowing people in their states to steal billions of dollars.
They just turned a blind eye. They being Governor Walz and Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, and allowed this fraud to continue. And the governor wants to say, well, we don't think it was billions. Let's say it was hundreds of millions, which I do think it was billions, but let's say it was hundreds of millions. That's still too much. And that type of attitude is the attitude I see every day from Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries, who say we shouldn't worry about fraud going into the Somali population. Anyone like me who tries to question that is a racist or whatever. We're not going to be bullied in this. We're going to get to the...
You can't blame race into this. The Somalis were doing something wrong. Lock them up. Lock them up. There's nothing about it.
The bottom of this, the taxpayers are sick and tired of working hard and paying taxes and sending them to Washington, D.C. and different states, and Democrat politicians wasting their tax dollars. We're going to find out how much money was wasted, who was responsible, and whether or not Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison knew about it and failed to act.
So far we've talked about housing assistance fraud, feeding our future fraud, immigration fraud. We've talked about autism center fraud and all other types of fraud. And even the SBA, y'all, the Small Business Administration is now like, hold up, we need to make sure y'all aren't defrauding us of SBA money.
The Small Business Administration also taking action. SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler announcing on X in part, today I informed Governor Tim Walz that the SBA is halting $5.5 million in annual funding to Minnesota pending further review.
Bro, that $5 million is nothing. We just in that video we just saw it was $111 million. Those couple of offices he went to.
Pressure is also building at the local level. Minnesota mayors speaking out over concerns state fiscal policies are hurting their residents.
Within the last 3 months, this has really gone downhill. And Brian, if we do the quick math, $9 billion in fraud divided by 5.79 million Minnesotans comes out to roughly be $1,500 a person that each Minnesotan, each hardworking Minnesotan, has had stolen from them from the Walz administration and the policies coming out of St. Paul.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm a Minnesotan, and I'm frustrated with how it had happened, as well as the communication that's happened. So. Really,
crazy. That's wild, man. Lock them up.
Our mayors are joining together not
to
point fingers and
as I get rid of this fraud.
But we're here to help solve the problem. That's what we do.
Now, I am going to say I think it's unfortunate. Personally, I think it's unfortunate that this is now reflecting on the entire Somali community in the country, y'all.
Well, that's what I just said. Now everyone's going to look at the Somalis as scammers.
Again, I grew up with people from Somalia, not a whole lot of people, but several, and I've met people from Somalia in my lifetime, and I've always had a good impression of them, or at least, normal impression that you get from just anybody. So, it's unfortunate that a few bad apples spoil the bunch. I think, frankly, y'all, when you have an immigrant community and you have minority communities, sometimes they want to stick together.
And this is what I'm saying, that this is why ICE is going so hard on everybody. Because a few bad apples making a big mess, now they're going to associate all the immigrants with them and go harder on the immigrant community because of these guys. And like I said, it wouldn't be an issue if the Minnesota government found out and their Democratic governor, they would keep their votes if they went hard on this. It would show to other Republicans, we're hard on crime. We don't tolerate this in our party. But they're not doing it. They're protecting them instead. That's what I'm saying. That's why Trump won the elections, because everybody got tired of this woke stuff. Everybody got tired of this woke stuff. But like I said, you would keep your voters more if Democratic governed states. If this came up, they're like, no, we got to go hard on them because we don't tolerate fraud. But they're not doing that. They're not doing that at all. Instead, they're trying to sugarcoat it, put it under the rug. It's going to hurt them more. Because next elections, everybody's going to vote Republicans because they're so mad that this fraud. $9 billion? That's not a chump change. You get it? The Democrats want to keep power in their states and all that. They got to go hard on when they found out that this fraud is going on. Otherwise, they're going to look weak, incompetent, and they're just going to go and vote for the Republican Party, which is going to clean up stuff, but usually they go really extra. So,
they don't want to.
You got to look at the lesser of
the dominant majority community to come in and arrest their own and take people out. But, y'all, get the bad apples out. Get the bad apples out of the community.
I just said that.
Is what I say.
He's not going to do anything because they don't want to offend that population. And the early numbers that I'm getting in on the Somalis in Minnesota is 75% of the Somalis in Minnesota are on full government assistance. That's full welfare. The whole reason that the Democrats left the border open during the Biden administration was to allow people to come in and what they said would provide jobs, because there's a shortage of workers. And I agree there's a shortage of workers.
Now, your girl, Michelle Wu, the mayoress of Boston, she weighed in and she came with a historical fact, a little bit of history that neither I nor you were familiar with. I guarantee you this historical fact that she's about to tell you, you had no idea. See, in the city of Boston, according to its current mayoress, Michelle Wu, there is not any achievement that Boston has achieved without the help of Somali people, y'all. So they didn't teach us this in school.
Crazy. You cannot talk about any achievement that the city of Boston has had in safety, jobs, and economic development, in education, without talking about the Somali community that has lifted our city up. We are proud and we are grateful for our Somali community and for our Somali American neighbors. Boston and the country are clear that hate has no place in our society. We will use every attack to actually strengthen and expand the services available, to empower and work alongside our community members who are already doing so much good in the world and setting an example for the rest of the country.
And Representative Jayapal says, hey.
Like I said, for a few bad apples, they're tainting the whole immigrant community for Somali. Those everybody else gets strays, you know. All the other immigrants are gonna catch strays, because now they're gonna think all the immigrants are on welfare, because 75% of the Somalis are on welfare. I'm Hispanic. I've never been on welfare. I've never had food stamps. Why? Because I work hard every day. You know, I don't make 6 figures a year just chilling at home. You know, I gotta go out there every day and work for my money. And it bothers me when I'm paying $25,000 in taxes, right? And these people are just chilling, scamming the system with fake childcare services. Pisses me off, you know? And it's like, that's what I'm saying. Democrats, if they really want to stay and get power, this is gonna taint the next election too. Because you know Trump's gonna use this as a weapon. You guys want Democrats run? Look how much fraud they went by them. Especially Tim Walz. He was going to become vice president if Kamala would have won. You know what you got to do, Democrats? If you really want to switch a Republican vote to you, go hard on crime. You see these guys? Don't think about offending people. Everybody's going to get offended no matter what. But you got to go after these scammers. Lock them up. Get a press conference. Line them up behind you. This person scammed 10 million. We lock them up. This person scammed 15 million in 5 years. Lock them up. This person, and go hard on crime. Look tough. Stop acting like you're like you're too scared to offend people. People are gonna get offended either way, but you gotta be locked up and lock them up for scamming $9 billion. You gotta lock them up, man. Stop being so like snowflakey. You know, these people are obviously abusing the system, and you know, and they said 2 years ago Minnesota was in a surplus of $18 billion, and now you're negative. No, lock them up, bro. That's how Democrats are gonna want. They want to get Republicans to switch over. See that you're hard on crime, that you're just on crime. Just. I'm not saying target the whole Somali community, but like the ones that are committing the fraud. You go raid, show force. Boom, we're gonna send the SWAT. Lock these people up committing fraud in those little places where we just saw. You know? See SWAT, break in, take the scammers out, line them up, press conference. You're like, you know, I'm Governor Walz, blah, blah, blah. We do not tolerate the Somali scamming fraud thing. Look, these are the guys responsible behind me. So-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. And then you would take what Trump's going to use next election. He's going to use this as one of the things that you guys want a government run a democratic city that is letting fraud, $9 billion, being incompetent, not checking that there's actually kids there. No, you don't do that. You go over there and take the weapons away from him and say, you know what, we're tough on crime. We're locking this guy up, There's no fraud in Minnesota. And if there was fraud, that was our bad. This person getting fired. This person getting fired. This person should have known. You know, be tough, bro. That's what people want to see. Times have changed. This is not 2015, not 2016. You know, things have changed. You cannot be soft on crime. If you want Democrats to win the next election, you cannot be so soft on crime. You can't. Locked up these people up. $9 billion of tax fraud. Raid those places we just saw from the Nick Shirley place. Raid, like I said, raid all the little offices. Show it on TV. Make a big spectacle of it. That's how you win elections. That's how you win. You gotta be tough and crap. And you know, Omar, man, I just found out about her recently. I ain't gonna lie, because she went viral. But if she really did the fraud she did, get out of here too. It's just protecting them. You know, I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm right in the middle. I'm just. You know, I don't think that they should be picking up people who are just randomly going to work. But these people are not going to work. You know, they're defrauding the state of Minnesota with all the child care thing. There's no kids there. 90 kids are approved for that facility. There's not even a playground outside. All the windows are black. Who would want to leave their kids in a cover-up window thing where they can't see the kids are getting abused or whatever, you know? Where the guy that opens the door looks like a scammer. You know? Man, if Democrats really want to win the next elections, they got to use this Minnesota thing to show face and be like, you know what? We're tough on crime. These are the people who scam Minnesota. Unfortunately, there was incompetent people in the office, but we're fixing it. We're going to get them all. We identified so that has 2 daycares with the same name, a block apart. They have offices that looks like a bodega with 5 daycares there. Obviously, that's fraud. Lock them up. That's how you win elections. If Democrats want to keep themselves in the election, that's how they do it. They have to go be hard on crime. That soft thing, that's not gonna work. That woke stuff's not gonna work. Otherwise, Republicans are just gonna win by default because nobody wants to be giving them $1 billion of fraud to Somalia when there's Somalia GDP in their country is $12 billion. And you're saying the Somalis in Minnesota are scamming $9 billion? That's like 75% of their GDP is based, we're funding it. No, you gotta be hard on crime. Get these people out of here, yo. You know, stop being so soft, man. That's what Democrats have to be. They want to win the next election, they gotta be hard. And this is the perfect opportunity for them. Perfect opportunity for them. Locked up all the Somali scammers. I'm not saying the all Somalis are scammers, but I'm saying the ones that are making it seem really bad. Lock them up. Don't be scared. You know? But that's just my opinion, man. Like I said, Team Waltz, you want to fix this? You want to keep yourself in power? Raid all these places with SWAT, with the FBI, whatever. Make sure there's cameras there, catching all these guys. Line them up, big press conference. This so-and-so had 2 daycares. He scammed this much money, but we caught him. This so-and-so scammed this much money. We caught him. And that's how you're going to win the election. Stop being so soft, bro. Stop being so soft.
Hey, stop attacking the immigrants. We need people to go out and get our food out of the ground. That's what we need. And if we get rid of the immigrants, y'all, did you ever know there's always a conflation of the people who are in the country with permission and the people who are in the country without permission? Well, Jai Paul seems to be saying, look, let these people stay because at the end of the day, you do want your food to be taken out of the ground, don't you?
And their distractions. We can't let them deport the millions of families across this country who have been doing the work that keeps our economy going every day. We can't let them scapegoat and criminalize immigrants who contribute, who are our neighbors, our friends.
I agree. If you contribute to the country and you're not defrauding it, you know, let them get some sort of legal way. But these people who are obviously abusing the system, you know, crazy fraud, no, lock them up. Lock them up.
Our churchgoers, our community around us that we deeply love. Immigrants are us. Immigrants are us, and we all deserve respect and dignity. If you look at the food that's on your table, think about who picked it.
So yeah, y'all, just a quick little holiday episode for you. It looks like we'll be going into the new year with massive investigations about where the country's wealth is going. I think that all of this, again, I think it's actually going to result in something. The only thing that I think could happen that would make this not result in something is if a bigger story comes out and people's attention gets diverted. And y'all know how things are, you know, that could certainly happen. Let me know what you think. When these politicians are called to Capitol Hill, will that be the end for them?
I guess if Democrats want to win, they gotta be hard on crime. Go hard on go hard in the Prime Minnesota. Make a big spectacle of it all. Go raid the places, the little offices, the little fake daycares. Make it break doors down. Line them up, big press conference. Line them all up behind you. Team walks out. This guy had a 4 daycares and there was nobody living there. This guy had 5 daycares. There was nobody living there. And this guy said that he's providing health services and there was nothing there. Pictures, make a big spectacle. That's how Democrats are gonna win. They gotta be hard on crime. But if you're not, the Republicans are just gonna get this as another weapon, and then they're gonna show you guys want a government system where 2 years ago Minnesota was in an $18 billion surplus. Now 2 years later we're in an $8 billion deficit. Well, obviously the deficit is going to the Somalians that are committing fraud. It's so simple. I don't know why they make it so hard. And people gotta stop worrying about offending other people. And like I said, this tainted the Somali community. Because now everybody's gonna look at Somalians as scammers. Even though most of them are not. But the few bad apples, you gotta go hard on them. You just gotta go hard on them. Anyway, I think this is it for today. But check me out on my social media places. GMV Pod on Facebook, GMV Pod on Instagram, GMV Pod on Twitch, and Kick. Thank you. Keep liking the video, subscribing it. Thank you for everybody who subscribed on this live. Appreciate y'all. And please, we gotta change this. $9 billion in fraud. There's people working every day, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, trying to feed their families. And these guys are just scamming the system. Business is closed. You go and ask, is there any kids there? There's no kids. That's your taxpayer that you're paying. Paying them for vacations, paying them for whatever, sending money to Al-Shabaab, Somalia. Like I said, the guy just said that Somalia's GDP is $12 billion. They frauded $9 billion. Saying that they were providing services for childcare, for healthcare, and senior care. And then this guy goes to the offices, and then there's only like a little closet space. He goes to the childcare facilities. There's no freaking parks outside for the kids to stretch their legs in the summer. Right? All the windows are blacked out. Who's gonna want to leave their kids there? You get it? And it's not being racist or anything like that. It's just being like, it's a fact. And I'm tired of people being so freaking like snowflakey of hurting other people's feelings. It's not hurting feelings when something's wrong. And like I said, this taints the immigrant community, because now they're gonna associate all Somalians as scammers. Even though most of them are not. But the few bad apples, that's how it goes. Like I said, if Tim Walz wants to fix this, he has to go guns blazing with SWAT raiding all these places, all these scamming places. Make a big spectacle of it. Line them all up behind you. He's like, I'm not saying this all Somalis are scammers, but I'm saying these guys are scamming. And we're gonna get them out before we taint the system where everybody's looking at all the Somalis as scammers. I think that's what he should do. But that's just my opinion. And if Democrats want to grab power in 2026, get those 33 Senate seats, they got to show that they're not going to pushovers. And when they see things getting unjust, like scamming the system, they're hard on it. That's how you got to make some Republicans switch over to the Democratic side. Like I said, I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm fair. I wish there was like a fair party, kind of like independent, but that's not happening. Anyway, that's it for today for me. Thank you for everybody who subscribed. Thank you for everybody checking my live.